His Majesty's government is in a special position as the mandatory power at present administering Palestine. We have before us a proposal involving certain assumptions concerning the future attitude of my government. You are therefore entitled to know, before you proceed very far in your discussions, to what extent those assumptions are justified. I can say at once that the United Kingdom government are in substantial agreement with the 12 general recommendations. In particular, they endorse and emphasize 3 of these statements of principle. The first, recommending that the mandate for Palestine shall be terminated at the earliest possible date, and the second, recommending that independence shall be granted in Palestine at the earliest practical date as an exact expression of the guiding principle of British policy in Palestine. I come now to the question of the future government of Palestine. I desire, on behalf of His Majesty's government, to state that they endorse, without reservation, the view that the mandate should now be terminated. It was the original intention of the League of Nations that the mandatory regime in Palestine should lead towards independence. The situation which has since developed clearly necessitates the termination of the mandate. We accept this necessity and shall willingly lay down the obligations imposed upon us so that the goal of independence may be brought within realization. First, the United Kingdom government are ready to assume the responsibility for giving effect to any plan on which agreement is reached between the Arabs and the Jews. Second, if the Assembly should recommend a policy which is not acceptable to the Jews and the Arabs, the United Kingdom government would not feel able to implement it. Then it would be necessary to provide for some alternative authority to implement it. His Majesty's government are not themselves prepared to undertake the task of imposing a policy in Palestine by force of arms. Likewise, in considering any proposal to the effect that His Majesty's government should participate with others in the enforcement of a settlement, they must take into account both the inherent justice of the settlement and the extent to which force would be required to give effect to it. The United Kingdom delegation will place at the disposal of the committee any experience or knowledge they have which will help it in its task. It is also my hope that the statement I have just made will contribute to this end. May I venture to add that if, however, no basis of consent for a settlement can be found, it seems to me of the highest importance that any recommendations made by the General Assembly should be accompanied by a clear definition of the means by which they are to be carried out.